welcome to my office. Step inside, get cozy. We are here today to talk about how to get over perfectionism and analysis paralysis and thaw from these energies so that you can get after your goal. Big Aries energy in the room. So welcome as you're flowing in. I want to hear from you what goal you want to get after right now. And this can be deeply personal, it can be more collective and global, it can be financial, it can be physical. Tell me what it is that you would desire to be getting after. So because once we identify that, hi Bree! When we identify what we actually want to get after, we have the clarity to get after it. And when we identify what it is that we do want, it immediately triggers all of these stuff we have inside of why we don't have it yet. The stories, the beliefs, the emotions. If you want to have a much deeper, sink your teeth into conversation around reworking your beliefs, go back and head to my previous live that I kickstarted this Firestarter series with yesterday. It's all about behavior change and what was the title? Why you don't need to find more time and energy to commit to your dream, because that is bullshit. So go back and watch that. I love you, Beck. And so today we're going to move down the line into how to actually start to get after the goal, to start putting in motion that intention to come to reality, into manifestation. So part one is firstly about identifying that big block belief that is rooted in scarcity, that from the get-go won't let you have what you want. And now we're moving into opening the body and softening those beliefs and rewriting the stories to align with who you need to become to have the thing that you want. Yes, okay, someone wants intimate relationships with women who are wildly expansive and money, baby. Yes, beautiful desire. So if you haven't yet, tell me the goal that you're currently getting after, or a goal that sits in your heart that keeps you awake at night. It's the first thing you think about when you wake up, and it's like this little, the voice or a desire knocking. And it's really easy somehow to keep shooing it away, but it's relentless. It's a muse that's still there. Tell me about that thing. Because what comes up with a big desire that seems really far away from our current reality is that the nervous system goes, not safe, high alert. And depending on our patterning, it's likely that we go into some kind of analysis paralysis or perfectionism, which all operates from the mind. So we dissociate from the body because the nervous system is activated. We're like, scary, new, that's too much. And we go from the neck up, back up into the brain. And the mind is where all this analysis and perfectionism comes from. It's the controller. Beck is going to come on the damn bus to the NT trip that I'm going on to, but it feels so far away financially. Beautiful. So your goal is the amount of money for the retreat. That's the goal that you're getting after right now. And so this really serves us, and this is why we play into it so much. Perfectionism and analysis paralysis really serves us. It keeps us in a state of familiarity, of perceived safety, and it means that we don't actually have to make the moves that we're being asked to make, which mean we're being stretched into someone that isn't who we are right now. Why this is serving us, is because we are so committed to our current identity that this operating system of staying where we are ensures that we keep the relationships we have, the dynamics we have with people, the amount of abundance we let ourselves receive, the amount of love we let ourselves receive. And so when we think about these secondary benefits of our perfectionism and analysis paralysis, we immediately start to relate to it differently as a thing that loves us, rather than something we need to shame, blame, and demonize. So I want you now, if you have a journal out or if you have a piece of paper, I want you to write down the secondary benefits from my perfectionism and analysis paralysis. What do I get out of this? Instead of just this thing that I think is wrong, instead of just this thing that I relate to as being bad or not good enough, or I got to get rid of it, or I got to fix it. Because at the same time, the deeper part of you doesn't want to do that at all. A deeper part of you loves your perfectionism, loves your analysis paralysis. It wants it to stay. So when we're in this inner war with each other, with ourselves, nothing can ever win, right? There's like an open hand to receive and another hand pushing it away, which means we're always in this push-pull, and why we're never finding momentum and magnetism. That's why our manifestation is so fucking slow. So, yeah, deep integration of my current identity. So, the benefits that you get from these things that you demonize can be, for me, I'll share from my own experience. I get to stay invisible, as in not as many people get to see when I make mistakes if I let myself truly take courageous, bold action. And invisibility feels safe because I identify as a bit of a hermit. So that's a benefit to my perfectionism and my analysis paralysis. That's one story I'm rolling. So I'm curious for you, and you can write this down so you have it to reflect upon in your journal, your secondary benefits, but also share in the comment box below. Yeah, Laura's feeling this big at the moment. You're feeling it big because the energetics of the season we're in astrologically right now is influencing bold fucking power, passion, making moves, betting on ourselves, and taking action. It's like an activation of courage time right now. And so if you're not feeling those things, which is where the universal energies want to take you, you're in resistance to them, which is why it's bringing up all this stuff that feels really uncomfortable. When the stuff that comes up that is really uncomfortable is happening, it's an invitation to look at it, to feel it, and to move it, to alchemize it. It's not coming up just to annoy you. It's not coming up to get in your way. It's not coming up to slow you down. It's coming up because it loves you, and it needs to be transmuted in order for you to make the moves necessary for you to move the needle forward. So how do we start to thaw from analysis paralysis? How do we start to get over perfectionism, especially if this has been a learned behavior that we have had since childhood? I give myself imperfection exposure therapy all the time, says Malak. I love this. So that's a beautiful, beautiful thing to offer right here, right now. And it was actually one that I wanted to speak to. So of course you brought it to the space. How do we do this? We start to let ourselves be imperfect, be messy, be in chaos, be human, and practice compassion, forgiveness, and love. We take the courageous human messy action and see what happens. We approach it with curiosity, right? We take the pressure off that one move, won't change our entire lives. Like, we take it down from the pedestal and we make it smaller. And so instead of attacking a behavior change or a new habit embedded as this like big holy thing. And this feels very familiar to me. I mentioned yesterday about how I use the very method that I'm going to share with you in my Fire Starter program. It's one-on-one, so there's only 3 spaces available. But I spoke to how I used this method for myself to release an identity of illness that I experienced for 15 years. That I was so caught up in my own suffering. And I used it to get a lot of love and attention. And I used it to be righteous against the medical system. I used it to be angry at the world and the way things were. And really, it was just hurting my body. That I walked myself through this step of, okay, my conscious mind wants this to go away, but my subconscious is so deeply attached to my identity, right? Because the secondary benefits is that I'm going to lose love, dynamics, relationships, who I am in the world. Very threatening, right? And so it felt really big. It was always this like, I want to heal, I want to heal, I want to heal. I want the cathartic release. I want the one practitioner that's got the modality that's going to do that thing to release this illness. But what actually happened and what actually worked is taking the tiniest step and making it so accessible that there was no resistance to it. I stopped outsourcing that power to someone else or to something else and took the messy daily action without trying to get it right. This only happened for 2 months before that illness was completely clear. And yet for 15 years, I'd been making it such a big deal and wanting it to be perfect and beating myself up every time I did something wrong. And this is what I really feel we all have the power to do. One of the core pieces of my work is reminding everybody that we are the alchemist. Benefit from overthinking. It's scary to take messy action because what if I traumatize someone? Yes, so we get to use this like, I care, I'm a good person, so how dare I take messy action? Really, really good. So first things first, the courageous, messy, consistent, daily human action. Really, 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 really small. Tell me what yours is right now. Tell me in the comment box. One really, 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 really small. And it still might feel like a stretch. It still might be like, oh my God, like doing that still activates something in me. And that's a good thing. The second part is how to get over analysis paralysis and perfectionism is actually meeting the energy when it arises as something that wants to be felt and learned from. Again, this is my emotional alchemy process, something that is a core pillar of the Fire Starter offering. Because when you're no longer afraid of these energies coming up in your body, and that's all it is, energy and motion, emotion. When you're no longer afraid of how it will feel in your body to take the action, you are free. You are liberated. That thing that makes your stomach go, that you know you need to do. Yeah, call my parents. Tell the truth. Forgive. Ask for forgiveness. Say sorry. Write the email. Do the Instagram live. Leave your husband. Like, whatever the thing is, it can bring up a lot of those, the fear. And so anxiety, overwhelm, analysis paralysis, and perfectionism, these qualities are all an expression of fear. And fear is the emotion underneath. And all we're really afraid of is that feeling, not what's going to happen outside. We like to use that as an excuse. What if they don't love me anymore? What if this happens? What if all my community outcasts me? What if? All the stories, all the fears. But really what we're most uncomfortable about is feeling that feeling. It's not the thing. It's the feeling that we're afraid of. And so my next invitation to you is to start to seek out. And you probably don't need to try very hard because it's probably already there. The perfectionism and analysis paralysis that arises every time you think of the thing you want to do. And then it goes, nope, freezes you into inaction, distraction, procrastination. I want you to get curious about being more in your body than in your mind. And all you need to do in those moments where you catch yourself is become aware of the sensation. Where do you feel it the most? A lot of the time, we feel fear in the heart space, in the chest, like a closing down. Some of my clients have experienced fear in their hands, like tingling or contraction. Could be anywhere. Could be like a big band of frenetic energy in the head. There's no right or wrong. But when that energy starts to arrive as an expression of the emotion of fear, you start to, instead of resist it, welcome it. Okay, thinking about that goal makes me freeze up. Thinking about that thing I need to do to get to the goal brings up a lot of resistance. Can I be with the resistance long enough to let it soften, to let it melt, to let it move? And there's no pressure or expectation here for it to be like eradicated, obliterated, oh, I'm free in one go. This is a rewiring of the nervous system. It takes time. This is why, again, to reiterate, it's much more helpful to welcome the power of the small micro moments rather than put it on this pedestal as one big thing. Because the ones that create sustainable change, the ones that get after the goal and actually achieve it and attain it, are the ones that are masterful at meeting the resistance when it arises. They're not the ones that are masterful at sitting down once, setting down the goal, writing the best plan, hiring the best coach, and then, voila, it happens. No. Who are they in the moments in between? Who are they when the temptation arises to be who they've always been rather than the one that they're being asked to become to meet the goal? For example, when it came to me taking my fight last year, that was one of my goals that I wanted to get after for so long. And there was this perfectionism piece of like, okay, I'm not fit enough, my diet's not good enough, I don't live close enough to the gym, The perfectionism in me is like, I wanted to be fitter, I wanted to be better, I wanted to be more prepared, I wanted to be XYZ. But I signed up to do the damn thing anyway. Because when the resistance come up and I felt the fear, I knew how to be with it finally. And I could ask, what's underneath this? What's the truth? Is the fear telling me, don't sign up, and that's the truth? Or once I'm with the fear's telling me, this is really big, this is really scary. A part of you is going to have to change. A part of you is going to have to die. You're going to be seen. Whew, scary, right? And the truth underneath all those things was, yes, we want that journey, sign up. And you might have had this experience before. Anytime you make an investment, if you sign up for a program or a masterclass or to work with a coach, there's that fear of, what if this doesn't deliver? What if this doesn't work? What has to happen? What has to change? And so asking that sensation, what's underneath this? And so when I signed up to take my first fight, it wasn't about me just signing up and the one bold move that sold it all, that manifested the goal of me taking my first fight. No, I didn't then just automatically be like, okay, cool, I signed up, I'm fixed. I'm prepared, I'm the best, I'm going to win. I had the vision. No. It was a daily discipline to check in with, am I being the fighter right now? Is what I'm about to put in my mouth the most supportive thing for my goal? Is what I'm about to do by pressing the snooze button the most supportive thing? Sometimes it was yes. Sometimes it was hell yes. Eat the sugar or sleep in. Sometimes it was. And there's an intelligence in that. Mostly though, it required a identity upgrade, which is what Firestarter is, right? An immersive, quick and dirty path to getting what you want and reaping the reward of results, because results are satisfying. And a lot of us that are in this work and in this world are not actually experiencing the satisfaction of results because we're pretending that we're working our feminine energetics, when really what's happening is that you are stuck in perfectionism and analysis paralysis, and you're not taking the moves. You're not making bold, courageous action because you're still stuck. I'm just being real. So once you know how to be with those sensations, you become fucking unstoppable. Because all that is between you and the manifestation, you and the goal, you and your desire, is the resistance you feel that opposes it. Thanks, Nina. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, hi, Jazzy. And when you're no longer afraid of feeling resistance, you are so powerful. All that power is reclaimed back. It's returned to your body so that you have the opportunity to make the powerful choice. There is so much more to this, and this is truly how behavior change happens. It's through consistent choice. And with a lot of us, especially with addictive tendencies, and for me for sure, during my fight journey, alcohol, sugar, there was an addictive tendency. The only thing that can ever really give you the power to make a new choice is fierce presence. Fierce presence. Not a decision that you make on New Year's Day and then decide I'm doing 365 days of whatever. It's the moment to moment experience of how it feels in your body to choose it or to not. And to get to the place of choice, you have to become masterful at meeting resistance. This is what I teach you in Firestarter through the emotional alchemy process. Because there's a lot of hype about setting a goal and getting excited about the goal and putting the vision forth, and this is what I want, this is what I desire, and that's really fun, right? I love hearing about what people are passionate about, but my secondary question is always, so what are you doing about it? How are you bringing it to life? What are the moves you're making? Who are you becoming in the process? And a lot of the time, the response, especially with my clients or people I'm having conversations with in the DMs, or even some friends that have had these big ideas for so long, and I ask them, what are you doing about it? And their answer is always, oh, well, I need more time and I need more energy. And I spoke to this yesterday. So go back and watch number 1 about why you don't need more time and energy to commit to your dream. Or I'm waiting for this, or it's not the right time, or I'm going to do this first, and I don't give a shit about that. And so if that's you, and I'm calling you out big time, and you're like, that's me, you can keep choosing that. There's nothing wrong with it. My question that I'm going to leave you with is, who do I want to be? Who do I really want to be? Upon reflecting on this year, on my life, who is it I want to be? Do I want to be just a dreamer? Or do I want to be the dreamer that manifests it, the dreamer that does, the dreamer that allows, the dreamer that makes the dream reality. Who do I want to be? Do I want to be the one that wanted to do the fight, or the one that did the fight and won it? Do I want to be the writer that's secretly got notes full in my notes app? Or do I want to be the writer that is an author and has a book on the shelf that has told their stories? Okay, my loves. Tomorrow is the final day for this Fire Starter series, and we're going to talk about how to sustain change. If there's any questions that arise and you want a little bit more juice, please drop them down in the comment box below. I'm loving this. I love habit creation. I love behavior change. I love the identity upgrade, and that's why Firestarter exists. We start April 1. There's only 3 spaces available. It's a one-on-one experience. It is the most intense and firecracker kind of program that I've ever offered, because what I'm really, really interested in right now is to get you from A to B. To get you making the moves, to have the thing, to do the thing, and to quit investing so much of your energy in staying exactly where you are, and instead start to let yourself flow with momentum as to who you are becoming. If you want more info, just slide into my DMs. I can send you the program page to look over and we can have a chat. But I'll see you here again tomorrow at 8 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time for our final conversation. And I love you so much. May you go forth today and make courageous, human, messy action and reap the satisfaction of that. Bye, loves.